I don't know. Did the company ever say, hey, good job, way to go, champ, here's a gold star? Did you get any of that?
I got a warning letter for having late air.
The facts, dates, and events presented in this video are from the member's best recollection and may not be fully accurate. This video is intended for entertainment purposes only. Always consult with your local union about your rights and duties at your workplace. The opinions shared on this video are our own and do not necessarily represent my employer's positions, strategies, or opinions. All views shared are protected under the National Labor Relations Act.
What is going on, everybody? So today I have Dave Hankus out of Local 728 in Roswell. He helps me out. What can I say? And Greg Kerwood out of Local 25 in Boston. And we're going to be talking about, is it easy to be a new driver at UPS? And why this video is even coming out. There was a video that came out a month ago that went viral that a lot of people don't understand the context behind. And that is the driver that was driving down the wrong side of the road on a highway and he ran into a tree. And this video blew up. Everybody's seen it by now. And I don't think a lot of people understand the context behind it. And they're jumping to conclusions. So real quick, just to let you know, I had a member out of his building reach out to me and tell me the story. So the story behind this is he was a new driver. He just got out of his 30-day packet. They sent him to another building in Texas. He was unfamiliar with it. His route was jacked up. The back of the truck was like 130, 160 degrees. And I think anybody who knows that's been a driver here understands how being in the back of the truck can basically make you feel like you're dying. It's the most, oh man, it sucks. So he was back there, looking for stuff and everything else. And he didn't feel right. And so being a new driver, you're fast paced, you love the money, you get it, right? Not feeling well. He ends up telling the supervisor, instead of the supervisor coming out and picking him up, instead of them telling him he needs to sit back and take a break, instead of them telling him to get medical attention, they told him to meet up with another driver, drop off the load, and then drive back to the building. When he was driving to meet up with the other driver, he passed out on the highway and he was actually slumped over and he started going down the wrong way and ran into a tree. And luckily he's okay today. Yeah, it messed up his teeth a bit. From my understanding, he was slumped over and when he hit the tree, his face hit the front end of the dash. Tragic story. And I really do feel my heart goes out for the guy. That really sucks. And it's just, stuff like that. It kind of reminds me of a story when I first started working for this company. I was a running gunner. I was trying to hurry up and get done. I drove down a driveway I shouldn't have and almost rolled the truck off a cliff. I actually almost about died that day. And I can kind of relate to an extent with what he went through. It definitely changes you and it makes you think twice, especially with safety. Because when you're young and you're trying to make an impression for the boss, you do stupid things. What can I say? I'm not saying what he did was stupid. What I did was stupid. But I got Dave here. Dave is a steward out of Roswell, but he has a very interesting backstory. So Dave used to run his own business. And he's only been driving for 5 years, but now he's a steward in Roswell. That's quite the leap. So, Dave, I guess if you could, can you quickly share your story to all the people watching and maybe tell us what is it like to be a new driver in the year of 2024?
So I started driving during peak and I knew it was a temporary position. Once I got into it, I realized this might be a career for me. And so I just thought the harder I work, the more I do, the more I'll be recognized and I'll have an opportunity to do this as a career.
So you're working hard and obviously something must have happened, right? So most of us go through some sort of turning point where it's just the final straw. You're working, you're busting your ass. You're, killing it every day. I don't know. Did the company ever say, hey, good job, way to go, champ, here's a gold star? Did you get any of that?
I got a warning letter for having late air. At the time, I was probably driving too fast, maybe rolling through some stop signs, did not want to have that air late. Got to a stop at 10:28, 5 air, 20 other packages for a commercial stop. I fat fingered the pre-record for those of us who have remember the older dyads, and was met with a warning letter the following day for not following instruction.
Ain't that beautiful? So I think many here watching this can actually relate to this. There was also an 8-hour request you never got to. Do you want to share that story real quick?
Yeah, it was the first 8-hour request I'd ever put in, and I had a concert to go to. It had been planned for months, and I thought I was going to be sent home because I was a lower senior guy. And at last minute, right before PCM, I was given a route from another driver who had an 8-hour request. So I was given his route because he had an 8-hour. He went home. I didn't get help, and I didn't make the concert.
That really sucks, especially since it was Taylor Swift. Greg, you being out of Boston, I mean, I know things are different up there, right? They're nothing like this.
No, I would say they're exactly the same. I remember those days myself, as old as I am, and as long ago as it was. I remember that feeling of thinking I'm going to come in and work hard and do a great job and watch the world unfold before me. And similarly was disciplined for simple mistakes, punished rather than rewarded. Just all the things that we see done to drivers, and very quickly realized that I was barking up the wrong tree, and that this wasn't the way that UPS was going to go.
Yeah, I think this is kind of like an issue everywhere now. Dave, now obviously you're a steward. You filed quite a few grievances. What do you think? Do you think it's something that, like, what got you to that point from busting your ass, never filing a grievance, just doing whatever you could to please the boss, to where you're, all right, I'm working by the methods, I'm doing the job exactly the way they trained me, and I'm following my contractual agreement?
For me, it was realizing that if I want this to be a career, that I need to be smarter about how I go about my day. I need to use the methods. I need to be safe. I need to get home safely. There's not a package on that car that's worth my job or that's worth someone else's safety either. And I think we are pushed sometimes when we're newer to get it done. Listen, if you got late air, you got late air. If it's out of your control, it's out of your control. The most important thing is this is a career job, and the only way you're going to get there is if you're smart and safe and use the methods.
And so, Greg, I mean, when you see a new guy come in and you already know that's probably the path he's going to go down, right? He or she. It's just, they're going to come in and they're going to bust ass. They don't really want to listen to anything you have to say. They don't care what people come up to them and they say one stop at a time. I mean, how do you get through their heads that what Dave just said, that this is a career job and that you can run yourself ragged?
Well, I wish I had the perfect answer to that. It is definitely a challenge. The company holds all the cards during that probationary period. And so it's very difficult to, we can only do so much because, we want the person to succeed enough to have the company allow them to continue to work and give them seniority. But at the same time, we also know that the company is laying the groundwork to destroy them eventually, convincing them to take shortcuts, to run and gun and throw packages from the street and skip their lunches and their breaks and, drive like a maniac and all those things. And so, the only approach that I've ever had any luck with is to just sort of be there, give advice as much as you can, let them understand that you are there to help, and, sort of lay out the way things are probably going to go. So when they do go that way, you're the person that they realize knew what was going on all along. And that, when they're shocked that the company is treating them like garbage because they got hurt, or they're shocked that they're being disciplined for something, you know, you're the person that they turn to say, "Hey, you told me this was going to happen. What is this all about? I don't get it." And that point, then when, you know, once they have seniority, you can explain how things actually work.
That's actually really great advice. I've been doing this a long time, and I generally I'm here to give you information, ammunition when you need it. Before we close it out, Dave, is there anything else you want to add to this?
No, I think everything Greg just said is spot on. I tell newer drivers now what the drivers told me when I started, and you just hope that light bulb goes off sooner than later.
Well, I will say to any of you young drivers or new drivers that are out there watching, we're not doing this because it's fun. We're not telling you because it isn't true. We have nothing to gain by giving you this advice. We've all been through it. We've been where you are. And I know nobody likes to hear that, but in this case, it's true. And, you know, listen, just please listen, put it in the back of your brain somewhere. At some point, as Dave said, things will click. You will realize that there's more to this than you think there is. And when you're ready for that, we'll be there for you.
I'll say this real quick. I remember when I first started driving for this company, it was the most stressful time in my life. It meant a lot to me. It was life-changing money. I was doing whatever I could to go faster, impress the boss, and, you know, go above and beyond. And for me, it actually took me 2 years for it to click in. And when it did, I just started doing everything by the book. And you got to understand, I understand that people are worried that they're going to have a target on their back. They're worried that the company's going to try to fire them because this is life-changing money. But just keep in mind, there is language in your contract for how to be discharged. Learn that language. Talk to your steward. Talk to your business agent. Go to your union meetings. Watch these videos. Read the contract book. Educate yourself. That will give you those layers of protection to protect yourself from ever losing your job here. And once again, be sure you work safe. Because honestly, you could bust your ass all this time, and as soon as you get into an accident, they're going to forget about all those routes you scratched. They're just going to focus on that one accident. So, shout outs. Dave, you're our guest tonight. Shout outs. Who do you want to shout out?
I'm going to piggyback on the driver who took me under his wing, my mentor. I didn't know what I had at the time, Jonathan Elrod.
My shout out's going to go to the Brown Cafe. Welcome back. The site's back up again. It's live and kicking. It's an interesting place, but they've always been nice to me. So what can I say? Except one guy, and I know who you are. So anyways, that's all I got. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time.